Welcome to the Temple of Time. It's the 6th dungeon in Twilight Princess, and this dungeon kind of stands out from the rest. We've talked before how this is a darker game, but this dungeon really is like a lighter, well-lit, like very white-colored dungeon.
Yeah, and I really like that about because one of our complaints about this whole game has been just how, like, the whole game is just, it's a darker kind of game, and so kind of coming into this place, I mean, the last couple of dungeons with, like, Arbiter's Grounds and Snow Peak were also darker, going with the game, and this one just kind of threw in a nice contrast.
It did, and it definitely, for those of you who played the Wind Waker, it's definitely going to have some strong similarities to the Tower of the Gods. It's almost like the exact same look to it and feel to it that the Tower of the Gods did. You'll see some continuous themes, too, that we'll talk about when we get to it.
Kind of like the item will begin kind of relates to Tower of the Gods, too, but I hate the theme. I absolutely hate this theme. It's just terrible.
It is. There's nothing exciting about it.
No, it's not. It's just... I don't know. It doesn't feel like it fits. Like, a lot of the themes obviously fit with the dungeons, and this one's just kind of like, I just don't understand it.
I don't either. I mean, maybe they with something to fit more of like it's the goddess's temple of the time and all that. I don't know.
But one thing that we were also talking about actually before we started this is like this place makes no sense whatsoever.
No, like, not at all.
It's like a big dungeon in the back of the former Temple of Time because like you go through that door in the beginning to get here that was in the past or whatever happened. I don't exactly know. But like it's like okay, you were in the Temple of Time where you got the Master Sword back in Ocarina. And then they just decided to put this big basement that goes up 4 levels to above. Like it just doesn't make sense.
It's a massive dungeon. You're like you would think you'd put the sword at the end of the dungeon.
That's a good point that I never even thought about actually.
Like in Tower of the Gods, you were trying to prove yourself to the gods. So that you could enter Hylia or whatever the bottom of the ocean. But in this one, it's like, no, we're going to give you the sword in the very front. But later...
But then there's a dungeon that you go get a statue and rescue it. Or, well, I guess you're not really rescuing it. But you got to go move a statue and just... really... I guess I just don't understand the point, really, of this dungeon.
No. It doesn't make sense at all. You're exactly right.
And Uka was talking about some kind of technology that his ancient ancestors used. Was he talking? I think he was talking about the Dominion Rod, and maybe that's why we're here, because we're trying to... get stuff to get us to the sky or something. I played this game twice. I still don't understand all the concepts.
Well, it's funny because I haven't played this game or the whole game all the way through in quite a while myself. Obviously, I played a few of the dungeons, but I was reading back up on the Temple of Time, so I kind of had some background. I'm like, what the heck are they talking about?
That's what I should have done actually before we started.
Because I didn't play the lead up to it, and I was like, what are they talking about? Going back in time and the temple being rebuilt? I'm like, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, and that was really that was a different concept not a different concept in this game, but we had not really dealt with any time elements in this game until now. So every Zelda game has like a time element to it. Of course, I don't think it makes sense right here. Really.
No, I think it was only there honestly to tie it together with the Hyrule, with the Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time, and everything.
Well, one thing I've always liked is they always said like in Hyrule Historia it says like because one of the things I wonder is why was a sword in a temple and then it's in a forest? Like is that the same place? And apparently it's like the ruins or something. So I kind of like how they brought that all together. Like
I agree with that.
You got the sword out of the Meadow Forest or whatever, Secret Meadow. And then it shows like okay, now the temple used to be here, so it kind of brings that whole concept.
It does.
Together.
It really does.
But still, I don't understand the dungeon.
It's a little weird. It is a little weird. And something that you'll see is a little bit of an annoyance later on. At the very beginning, while we were kind of talking, you saw that there's a missing statue. Over probably 3/4 of this dungeon is us finding this statue and getting it all the way back to the front.
Taking it all the way back down. And it's a stupid concept really for a dungeon.
It is. And honestly, I don't dislike this dungeon.
I don't either.
But now that we're sitting here talking about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think like on my initial rankings, and this is subject to change, but I think I had like 4th or something like that. And I think a lot of that was just the lightness of it. Like,
it is.
It's just a darker game. We talked about it at the beginning. It was just a lighter dungeon that kind of made it more... not enjoyable, but because we like lighter, more colorful stuff.
Plus, it gets rid of that sun glare a little bit.
And if you pay attention, these are the things like they kind of see they have a design, these statues, like Tower of the Gods. From the Wind Waker, you kind of see like those blue, like, they're not neon lights. I don't think they had the technology for neon lights in Hyrule, but they kind of have like those blue lights. Kind of designs going through them that really looks like Tower of Gods.
Like I said, they tied a lot of things together with the Tower of Gods in this. It's like almost like a reimagining, so to speak, of the Tower of the Gods.
We just played them out of order.
We really did.
We played Twilight Princess before we played Wind Waker.
Yeah, we were a little late to the Wind Waker wagon.
Well, at least I played first in HD. That was a great choice on my part. And really, that was the whole thing I was doing. Go off topic a little bit. Yeah. I was just waiting for the HD version to come out 10 years later. I was like, well, I'm just going to play that one.
We have a profit.
And I can't figure out the easiest puzzles.
No. Now, one thing I do kind of like about this dungeon, I do feel like it's more puzzle-based than enemy-based. And I know...
Yeah, there's not a lot of enemies.
There really aren't. There's a few not Stalfos, but Liz Alphos, or whatever they're called, that we fought. And a lot of these little swarms of enemies.
Dark nuts, I know that.
Oh, yeah. there is a dark nut, unfortunately. But other than that, it's mostly figuring out how to get this statue all the way from the beginning, or from basically the heart of the dungeon, I guess, all the way back to that intro.
Yeah, which is obviously a big puzzle, so...
Yeah, and I just feel like there's not a ton of combat all the way throughout.
Well, I know you get very low on hearts almost the whole dungeon, which I'm always a fan of that experience, so I can go through a whole dungeon without really losing too many hearts.
Exactly. And one thing I thought was kind of interesting, though, back when we did Arbiter Grounds, we kind of commented on how it was the first time we really had all these swarms of enemies coming after us. We had like the Stal kids and the
it's like the little swarms. Well,
and now back here in
they're so annoying.
The Temple of Time, I almost forgot what dungeon we're doing. I almost said Tower of the Gods, actually. You saw down there in the middle of that pit, there's just a ton of these little, I guess, shelled creatures of some sort. And they are
spider baiters or whatever. Yeah, they are. I really do like that part right there, like the whole walk up the staircase.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it feel like a legendary kind of place. Like, obviously, this is not getting... Well, I don't even know the story behind this place, really. I understand the story behind Temple of Time where the Master Sword is, but not this part of it. But
not this back part,
Yeah, but I do like that whole grand staircase.
It always makes it feel more like not just some random cave or dungeon or something.
I feel like Leo in Titanic walking... he's walking down it, but...
Yes. But it does give it a more grand, epic feel to it.
Yeah.
So, all I know is after... Stal-Lord, I'm glad you didn't run into all these spinners.
Yeah. They got me a couple times in this dungeon.
Yeah, but
I'd be sitting there, I thought it was far enough. You'll see later on, but they get me a couple times.
Well, the depth perception's a little off.
It's not right here. I just thought I was out of the way and bam.
Yeah. Those blades stick out.
I like to live on the edge in Zelda games.
God knows we do.
That's why we die when we die. We like to live on the edge.
Yes. And we have to make it entertaining for our little viewers. And we are always kind of a fan of like raising and lowering these levels, or at least we, depending on the situation.
We like in Arbiter's Grounds where it kind of had like a, not a corkscrew, but it kind of like, it had the grooves that made it look like it was actually going up and down.
Yeah, so it's on a much smaller scale here. It's only one room, but it's still a neat little thing that we, that we never really mind.
And I did like carrying the, you go with the puzzle thing. Like I did like carrying these statues and like having to place them on buttons and kind of the puzzles that came along with that. I really did like.
I agree, and they do a good job, I think, of really implement as usual, of course. When you get the Dominion Rod. Well, sorry, spoiler alert, the dungeon item of this game.
It's like we've always said, this game's been out for years. There's no more spoiler alerts.
No, but when we get the Dominion Rod, they obviously build a ton of puzzles.
That really doesn't even say what the item is. Well, if you said the bow, okay, that'd be like a spoiler, but nobody's ever watched this, they'll be like, what's the Dominion Rod?
Yeah, well, you'll find out. Let's just tell you, it's an upgrade over
the command song.
Command
my
song.
God, I was so sick of playing that.
Now, I really like how you handle... Yeah, I really like that. And I really like how you handle a few of these guys later, which is bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, obviously they're not that tough.
Well, what I was trying to do was here, like, I was trying to get to one side because if you get close enough, you start both of them up.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was just trying to get on one side and get one, and that's kind of what I do with the bombs later on.
It works out really well later on, that's for sure. You'll see that.
That's just my good gameplay, I think.
Well, you still got the guys.
Got credit me when I actually do have it.
Yep. Hey, like I said, I was a fan of the approach with the bombs.
Yep.
Now your bomb work against the dark nut.
Why don't we just worry about that when we get there? Okay, we don't need to talk about that right now.
We got
that's got a good 4-minute section on its own that we can discuss the whole dark nuts.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I think we just get a small key here.
No, it's the map.
We already got the map. So
dude. Well, until we went past that part.
Well, we've been kind of.
I guess we were talking on that one.
We have been talking about a lot of
different Talagons and comparisons and stuff like that.
Yeah. That happens a lot in the first part of our dungeon videos. It definitely does. Later on, actually, here we'll be getting. I believe it's when we get the heart piece.
Yeah, we come back when we use that statue to move it down the 2 railings right there.
Yeah.
And then we end up getting a heart piece.
But that's a few parts a little deeper into this dungeon. So, but for now, this wraps up part 1 of the Temple of Time.